Okay, good day, and it's a beauty. Today we're going to talk about trailers. So in order to have all these tractors, I got to have trailers to haul them on. I do have 3 trailers. First one I bought in 2018. It's a Rice 20 foot with a 2-inch dovetail, and this is what I use to haul most of the tractors on. And then a couple of years ago I bought this Triton from work. It's a 18-foot deck with a 2-foot dovetail for a total of 20 feet. Now the Rice, I can get 2 tractors back to back on. The Triton, I cannot. So the wide front tractors, I can get 2 on the Rice. On the Triton, I can haul 2 tractors, but they have to be narrow front so that they fit with the 2 ends pivoted out. Both trailers have 2 7,000-pound axles, 8-bolt lug pattern, for a total payload of 14,000 pounds. I also have this trailer that my dad bought in 2000, and he used it to pull his roughly 7,500 pound backhoe. It hasn't seen the road in about 2 years. It's got a 16-foot bed and a 5-foot dovetail, but it needs a lot of work, and it's quite a bit wider than the bed on either one of these 2 trailers. So if I have a tractor with a wider axle, it has to go on this trailer. The only tractor that I have an issue with not fitting on this trailer is the Alice D17 that currently isn't running anyway. But I do want to get this back into running shape so that if we do get a tractor that has a wider wheelbase than what the Rice trailer will handle, I've got something to pull it home with. And there might actually be a method to my madness to want to get this taken care of sooner rather than later. So for now, we're going to get it pulled up and get it on dry ground, and we're going to start with addressing the tires because that's probably the biggest issue right now. Okay, now that we've got it pulled up here, you can get a better look at what makes it so unique. It's got these 24-inch axles that they've got the mobile home hub to them, so they've got the 5 bolts, and they're not studs, they're actually bolts. And then the rim is hollow, it doesn't have, it's just a loop. And so it's set up that it's got 4 of these 24-inch axles. They're 3,000 pound heavy duty tires. So 3 times 8 is 24. So we got 24,000 pound capacity for this trailer. All of these tires are cracked and worn, and just there's no telling how good they are. And I just don't trust any of them. So I got new tires for all the way around, just so that I know that when I take it to use it, it's going to be good. I'm going to dig into the hubs, tear them apart, make sure that all my bearings are good. I'm going to rip off the deck. We're going to paint it. We're going to redo the lighting and the brakes. That's the other thing, is from looking at it, and I don't remember, it's been a long time since I've been under it, but I think every single hub has
brakes in it. So I think there's 8 sets of brakes on this, but I could be wrong. There could be hollow hubs. I just don't remember. So we're going to get the tires on. We're going to use it for one more project, and then it's going to come back. We're going to get it tore apart. We're going to redo all of it. And then I would like to get my winch system mounted on it. It had one on it previously, my dad put on, to where the winch sits vertically. But the winch that I have for the other 2 trailers that is interchangeable, it won't work vertically. So I'm going to have to change that so that the receiver adapter is up here on this crossbar, or even higher. I haven't decided yet. And then get it set up with batteries so that this will accept the same winch. I may redo the landing gear. I might move them out so that there's one on each side. I haven't decided on that yet either. And then the other major thing I'd like to do is potentially put a 12-volt hydraulic pump on, because this beaver tail on the back is hinged, and it is meant to be able to swing up and ride level with the rest of the deck so that you have an actual 24-foot deck. But I'd have to get a ram, and I'd have to do the whole hydraulics and everything. So I don't know if that's going to happen this year or not, but for sure we're going to address tires, hubs, bearings, brakes, get all of that done. We're going to tear this deck off. We're going to put a new deck on. I might put like chain points on it to where they just the chain slides down and you pull it up to put your chain on. Just because putting chains and ratchets and tie down points, it's not an H channel. It's just this I-beam, and there's really no good spot to be able to hook those chain links to. So probably do something there, or D-hooks even. Put some D-hooks on it. But yeah, all of that is a lot further out than this initial video. So I got the new tires, and the rest of the video is going to be pulling those tires off. I'm going to get underneath, take you underneath the underside there. We're going to pop the covers off the hubs just so that I can make sure that I don't have any blown out bearings that are just kind of rattling around in there that need to be addressed before I use it the one last time. We got her all ready to do the work on the tires. It's all set up on jack stands all the way around. I'm going to start out with the 4 on the inside, of course. You do the hardest ones first. I did want to show you a couple of things. First of all, this is the new tire that's going on there, tire and rim. These are Eaton hubs. So the way these work is the rim is hollow, and then it's got a ridge on the front and the back side, which you can see there. So when this goes onto the hub, this will match up with the edge of the star, and then so this little bracket and then the bolt will go through that. It's got this little lip on it that goes to the back, and it'll thread in. It'll catch the front side of this ring, and then that little lip on the back is what gives leverage and pressure for that to kind of lock down like a vice grip. And you can kind of see what that looks like. So they basically just clamp around the rim in 5 spots. Because these are so old and rusty and crappy, I bought new hardware, and while we're at it, we're gonna chase the holes. This is a 1/2 inch 13. That's what the thread is. So we're gonna chase those holes and clean them up so that when we thread this in, it should go together really nice. And then we are going to torque it. So I looked it up. The torque spec for these lug bolts is right around 55 foot-pounds. So we'll keep somewhere in there, maybe a little bit up from that. But last thing I want is one of them falling off and rolling past me as I go down the road. So we'll torque them, Again, like I said yesterday, as long as I'm at it, I'm going to pop those caps off and just take a flashlight, take a look, and make sure I don't have any bearings floating around in there. I don't expect that they're going to be good, and I don't expect to see a whole lot of lubrication, but as long as I don't see pieces and chunks, we'll put the caps back on and we'll hopefully make it work for the one trip it needs to. All right, I'm going to take you with under there, and hopefully you'll be able to see what I'm doing. This is super duper. Okay, I hope everybody's comfortable because I know I am. Let's see how badly these are. Oh, good. That's a different size than what was up there. Seven eighths. Definitely not a 7/8. Okay. Brought the whole case, so I don't have to do the Olympics again here. I guess we'll give it a go. That's 5. No. As you can imagine, these wedge in pretty tight. There we go. Really wouldn't want to be doing this on the side of the highway, but I have before. Fun fact. That's why I'd rather not do it again. Hey. Alright. Now, like I said, we'll run the tap in and out. Although they came out pretty clean looking. It's good to have a dirty tab. Alright, that was the last one. Now they're all chased. Now we'll see if we can get that center cap off of there.
they're not going to come easy. There, it started to come. There. Get you up there so you can see that a little closer. Good grease. I can hear it. I can see the rollers going around. Everything looks to be in place, so I think we're gonna let it ride. That dragging noise, that's coming from the brake inside. That'll be the process for every single one of these. Hopefully they all look like that and I can get done what I need to do. Okay. So, put the center cap back on. And like I said, it's kind of nice to have the grease zerk there, but it's not really doing a whole lot of good. You're only getting this front bearing. You're not getting the back bearing. And pulling the cap, we can get in there and see the front bearing. Can't see the back bearing. So we're still 50-50 on all of these. But I'm still going to pull the cap and take a look because it's better than not. Cap's back on. I got the tire situated under here and we're going to go ahead and get that installed. I'm at a very awkward angle. Okay. It sits on there like that. And then again, remember that little edge is going to sit right in there, and that's what pinches it together. Very technical term. Pinches it together.
Okay, I'm almost out of daylight for the day, but I wanted to get this one little piece on camera yet. So all of the tires are on and mounted. All of the old ones are off. And now we can kind of take a look at what we had. We had an array of different things. That one came off the inside. You can see that that's really balled out and bad. Same with this one. One side is worn down to nothing. Then you can also see we had different size tires on. We had some that were wider than others. We had some that were taller than others. And we had one especially bad one that is this one here. We had a tear and thread showing. It was in really bad shape. So like I said at the beginning, I didn't trust it, and I was right. So now we've got all the tires on, all the new hardware. The only thing we have left to do is drop it to the ground and torque it. And then these, of course, are all the same size, same diameter tire, same width tire. That's part of the reason that these had such silly wear on them, is because he was running a bigger size on the outside, and so it was getting more pressure on one side of the tire. So these are all going to wear evenly, which is a good thing. I've got a bag full of old hardware. I've got a couple bags full of new hardware and boxes full of new hardware, because it took me a couple tries to get those bolts right. And even at that, the ones that I took out weren't always all the same. So we had quite a hodgepodge. And then some of them didn't even have all 5 lugs in them. So now they all have all 5 lugs. Again, the only thing left is to torque them down. I did take caps off every single hub. The bearings on the inside looked much better than the bearings on the outside. Everything is still in good enough shape to run it yet, but they do need to be done. And then I also verified that every single hub has a brake in it. However, I think there are some of them that are not hooked up, don't have wires on them. But that, again, that'll be for a different time. For right now, I'm just happy to have this portion of it done. All right, so of the 10 tires that were sitting on this trailer, 8 of them on underneath, 2 of them up on top as spares. There's one job left, and that is to figure out which one of these 10 is good enough to be a spare. And I think I found the one I'm going to use. This seems to be in the best shape. So it also has a somewhat black rim, so that matches the rest. I like it when things match. So I think that's the one we're going to go with. All right, if you're still watching at this point, I thank you very much. Got the tires torqued. I went to 60 pounds on each lug, so all the way around underneath, that's all done. Got pressure in them, so according to what is on the tire and what I found on the internet, the sidewall of the tire says do not inflate over 32 pounds of PSI while setting the bead. And all of these were right around that 30-pound PSI mark. So then I further read that the max PSI you can put in is 118 pounds. I will not be running these 118 pounds, but it says refer to your trailer manual to find the optimal setting, which I thought was kind of weird because usually tire pressure is set on the tire, not on the vehicle that it's going on. Anyway, I opted for 55 pounds in each. So I brought them all up to 55 pounds and we're good to go there along with the spare. The spare has 55 pounds in it. And what I want to leave with on this is at the beginning of the video, I talked a little bit about some of the things that I want to do. One of which being like a chain pocket. And I brought some examples so that I can show you why I want to do that. So when you've got a chain like this and you're looking for a point on the side here to link it to, you really can't put it here because it's going to slide. As you tighten it, it will slide down this rail. And underneath, it's the same deal. So you can hook it there and you can get pressure, but as you bounce down the road, it's going to slide in this channel until it comes to a cross member, and there aren't a lot of cross members under there. And even if you do find a cross member, if you use a ratchet like this, it's super awkward. Let's see if I can do this. To try to get that ratcheted when it's up against the trailer like that. So this really doesn't have optimal points for putting in tie downs. What I found are these two options. They're both very similar. Both of them would have to be welded to the frame, which is fine. This option, the chain fastens with a bolt. Same with on the top here. It fastens with a bolt. So what would happen here is on the inside of this channel, I would weld these on flush with the deck. I would cut a hole in the deck that the top of this would stick through, and then when I needed to use them, I would just simply pull them up out of the bed of the trailer and I have a spot to link to. And I figure if I put 5 of these down the length of each side, that should be optimal for having spots to be able to chain down tractors. This one has a steel loop, and then it has a welded point on the cap, which the cap isn't that big a deal. I'm not going to put the chain link right up against the cap and expect the cap to support anything. This one says it is rated for 6,000 pounds, which I think would be optimal. This one I think was 4,500 pounds, and I'm guessing that's because of this bolt. So I think that this is probably the option that I'm going to go with all the way around. But I had to get a couple just to see which one I would like better. Then the other thing is they have a chain holder that would go up on that bar up there, and then you can link your chains and come alongs to the trailer and you can just leave them hang there, which when I'm traveling with it I think would be nice, but I don't think I leave them up there all the time. Right now I have them all under my lean-to on the sidewall so that they're covered and protected from the rain and moisture, and so they don't get all rusty. But I did like the idea of having something to be able to hang them up as I am on chaining things at shows. The steel utility box, I think that'd be perfect for housing nylon straps. So I got heavy duty brackets to get that mounted probably right there underneath. And for now, that'll do it. So I thank you for sticking with this video. I know it was longer. I really wanted to highlight those 24-inch axles because of how unique it is. This trailer has a lot of sentimental value to me. Dad and I hauled a lot of stuff on this. We've hauled tractors, we've hauled the backhoe, we've hauled all of the cement bricks that went into the foundation of my house and one of his homes out in western Minnesota. We hauled bobcats, we hauled lumber, my entire pole shed. When I bought that package from Menards, I hauled that entire thing with this trailer. So this has done a lot of work for our family, and I'd like to see it stick around and do a lot more. So with that, I'm going to leave you. If you like the video, please subscribe. I really appreciate everybody that's supporting the channel. And as always, take your foot off the clutch. Thanks.